Traders, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over a few stocks I like going into tomorrow. I'm going to be going over exactly how I am hedging on the market as well. I do love the way the market is moving, although you have to be prepared and watching key signals like the one I'm going to be going over today, because I do think a pullback may happen going into Friday and possibly even Monday. So like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Let's get to it.
I got no drip in my pocket. Must have forgot it, or maybe
All right, so as we jump into this, going into today, at the end of the day, you were looking obviously very bullish on the NASDAQ. This was prior to this big dump right here. You were looking extremely bullish and confident on the market as a whole. As I posted a trade in the Discord, you had a lot of questions. People were wondering, well, why are we betting against the market? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Now, hedging on your portfolio or on your trades is never really a bad thing. It's never a negative, in my opinion. It can reduce possible gains, but it's never really that big of an issue if you know what you're doing and you're not over leveraging on those trades as well. But there's something that I do want to highlight. Even though the NASDAQ looks so primed, you had exactly what you typically want. You came past that overall resistance, mounted it, came back down, held double bottom, now pushing back up. This is textbook bullish behavior. But what was the sign, in my opinion, that a dump was possibly on the way? Even SPY looks incredible. You're mounting, flagging, pushing back up, all-time highs being made. What was the problem in my mind? Now, this is not confirmed yet. This is not a sign that you're guaranteed to bounce going into tomorrow, or this is going to make money. This is just something that I'm looking at right now. We're going to go to the one-day chart. This is a higher time frame, but very important nonetheless. Now, looking at this chart, you might be a little confused. This is the VIX, the volatility index. Kind of think of it as an inverse to the S&P. It's an easier way to describe it. Typically, VIX goes up when volatility goes up, as well as the market dropping is typically when this goes sky high. So if you look back at when the market tanked back during COVID, you went from overall $14 all the way up to $86. So if you had VIX calls or UVXY calls, you made tons of money. Now, there's a key trend I've been watching over the year, and we've been talking about here in the Discord. When you come down to the $15 block down here, something tends to happen. You come down and you start bouncing almost immediately. Now, I may have jumped the gun and bought a little bit early today. I maybe should have waited till tomorrow or possibly even Monday. However, you're getting a very steep decline in the VIX, and anytime this happens, you typically come down and get a strong bounce out of the gate. That's just how it's played off in the past, specifically on the steep declines. It's been very nice and sharp back to the recovery side. Now, that's not to say that you could just bust right through this and keep going down and the market could keep going into infinity. 100% possible. That could, in fact, happen. But looking at this, in my opinion, it has highlighted a key trend in the market, specifically with the SPY and the NASDAQ. At the end of the day, you started seeing a steep decline. Now, looking at this chart, I'm going to say it right now. This looks extremely bullish. I do like the economy. I do have longs. I am on the bullish side right now going into the end of the year. But looking at this, I have to recognize that there's a point in which I need to start looking at the indicators, which I've been following all year. I had to start hedging my position. So what I did is I grabbed some UVXY calls. This is how I trade the VIX. There is correlation. If you are completely confused, I'm not going to do a whole UVXY breakdown, but I grabbed $17 strikes for next Friday. That's how I'm playing this. That's what I like. I think UVXY will get a bounce. I'm not saying you go to $19, $20. I just think you will get a bounce and they'll make some money and it'll hedge if the market starts to go down. But let me go over some stocks that I really like going into tomorrow and specifically the rest of the week or rest of the month. Number one, I'm going to go over Disney, and a lot of people want me to cover this, and I know based on the move we had today, some people may not like what's really happening. Now, with Disney, you had some bad news. They got a price reduction, but the key thing on the price reduction, they got moved down to a 175, or they got moved from a expectation of like 200 to 175, which is a big steep drop. But if you notice something, the price of the stock is lower than the expectation, so therefore, on paper, theoretically, it's undervalued. Now, I did start adding a lot to this position. I added some here. I was adding more here. I just was adding this whole time to this position for November 19th for myself personally. been mentioning in Discord as well. A lot of people have questions. They want me to make this video covering Disney. So the most optimal time to sell this would have been this morning when you hit that monthly level, because you always project that you hit that level and then get rejected and then break above it. Now, we have time on these positions, but for myself personally, I overslept and I just slept right through all my alerts, even though I had all the alerts sitting next to my ear. That's tough. However, I still feel very confident, and I think you're in a place, in my opinion, where the downside is minimal and Disney has plenty of room to start running back to the 172 region and breaking through ultimately towards 175, 180 before November even gets here, which I understand is in a week and a half. So keep it on your radar. I do love Disney. I think it's very cheap. Fair value is, in my opinion, a lot higher than what it's at. Options look very good. I like November 19th. You have earnings coming up the week before November 19th. So I think you just have a lot of opportunity on this play specifically. This is going to be the last thing I'm going to go over in this video. I know I had a few stocks, but those are the two safest, UVXY in my opinion, and then Disney. I'll have more stocks coming out tomorrow, but I want to cover a stock that I covered the other day. I mentioned Peloton being one of the best plays going into the end of the year. My projection was $100 before the end of the year, being kind. And when I made this, you were in this pennant. You were dipping below right there at that monthly level. You got to dip, but guess where you're at now? You're at $95, guys. This was a huge opportunity. I did have to cut some of my positions, so it's hard to say. But Peloton, I'm telling you guys, going to holiday season, they're picking up. They have tons of products. They're selling rapidly. They're doing an amazing job. They're making a killing. The only problem is supply chain, but I think those problems are going to clear up. Peloton, huge winner here, going berserk. More stuff like this are coming, and I'm telling you, in my opinion, Disney is like a Peloton here. I think you're getting it at those bottom level prices. Then you have tons of room to run. If you look at Peloton, even if you bought here at 86, you would have made a killing at 94 on any of those options. So that's what I'm looking at. These are the plays I'm trying to find for you guys. Safer plays, not so much penny stocks, not so much hype, but strong fundamental viewpoints, especially when it comes to the option side, grabbing those leaps. All right, so definitely one of the more depressing videos if you really get down to it, because I'm telling you guys how to hedge your positions. I'm not telling you about a stock that's going straight to the moon and going to make you $1 billion and save your family's Christmas. I'm sorry. But looking at what's going on in the market, I do think you're extremely bullish. However, VIX is at that key level. I do think VIX gets a bounce. I love Disney. Those are the stocks I like. Peloton, congratulations if you traded it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Discord down below, Twitter down below. Make sure you're following on Twitter for daily updates. Love you all. And remember one thing, boys. We run the market.
I'm about to take off like a rocket. Houston, we might have a problem, but that don't mean money.